Hello folks, beautiful spring day out here and my Silverado don't start. It's 2005 Silverado 5.3 liter V8. Got home the other day, let it run low on gas, and next morning I got in it, started to go to work, and it wouldn't start. And the fuel pump obviously took a dump because you don't hear it prime up. When you turn the key forward, you should hear a buzzing sound back here where you put the gas in. The fuel pump's off in there, it's inside the gas tank. So there's three ways to do this. You can crawl underneath it and drop the tank, which is a pain in the ass. I've done it. Or you can take the whole bed loose and lift it up and tilt it over, or you can take the bed off, which is another pain in the ass. Mine having this nice bed liner, this hard shell bed liner, I'm going to take the bed liner out and I'm going to cut me an access hole right here, and that'll get me right to the top of the gas pump, or to the fuel pump, and swap it out. I'll get back with you after I get some progress going. You always got to make sure you have you some drinks available. Pepsi and Red Bull. Stay away from that alcohol. Alright, I got my bed liner off. I was just going to show you. There was just two screws holding it. Right here in the very back of the truck, there's a, I believe it's like a T30 Torx little star tool. There's two screws there and there, and a whole sucker came right out. So now I got my bed exposed right up here by the cab. I got the measurements. Let me go ahead and read these to you. From the front of the truck, from the cab right up there, I'm going to go back 4 inches to 18 inches. And then from this driver's side, I'm going to go from 10 inches over to 26.5 inches. That way, if you do want to screw that piece back down in there, just so it's not wide open under the bed liner, you can put 4 self-tapping screws in it, and you'll have something to screw to if you go by these measurements. Take me a grinder, little thin wheel here, cutting blade, and get me a Sharpie tape measure and measure off those measurements I just gave you, mark them off, cut it real quick, and then I'll show you the fuel pump should be right underneath it, and I'll be back shortly. Here comes my son Jake. He's going to lend a hand here and there and learn a little bit from old dad. Okay folks, I'm back. I got the hole cut. I'm just going to grab it. You always want to make sure you wear your safety gloves, safety glasses. You don't want to lose a finger or an eyeball. And keep in mind, the whole time I was cutting this, I'm right above the gas tank, so sparks cause explosions, so be real careful and keep an eye on it. It's always best to have a couple of people so you can have somebody looking under there for sparks. And this thing's riveted to a couple of runners there, so I believe I've got the bed all the way cut through, so I just got to pop it out. I'll be right back when I get that done. Don't want to make this too long for y'all. Okay folks, there's the fuel pump. Now I can get right to it. Nice little trick I learned there on YouTube. Got your little access hole. I'm going to need to get back in there one of these days anyway. This truck's 20 years old, so, well, 19 going on 20, so it's going to be time to start working on it. So instead of fighting this every time and trying to take the bed off and drop the tank and all that crap, just cut me an access hole. My trusty bed liner will go right back over it. You'll never know it's there. Plus I'm going to screw that piece back on here, just like so. 4 self-tapping screws. Cut down on any water getting under the bed and getting off in there, you know. Seal it up maybe with some silicone, but I'll get back with you as I get this pump going. This part's very important. You want to blow this off so you don't get no contaminants in your fuel. Okay, back at it. Here's the one from Amazon. It's like $53 or something like that. You always want to compare after you get it. Make sure it looks the same, and I believe it does. That's what your fuel pump looks like. Also comes with this little float arm, which is going to tell you when your tank gets empty. It clips on there. I'll show you that in a little bit. But right here on this electrical plug, you want to get this little gray clip to slide out. So get you a tiny screwdriver, put it down there in the middle, pop that thing off there. It's just a little safety retainer. Pull that straight out of there, lay it to the side, and then there's something else you gotta depress to get this thing off. Let me figure that out and I'll get back with you. Okay, back to this part on this plug. After you get that little retainer clip off right there, I just put a big screwdriver in this end, kind of pry it up and wiggled. That popped right off. Right. And we'll figure these two out. I think that little red thing, you need to get it to pop up and then pull that gas line off. I'll be back. Okay, yeah, on this one with the little red clip, you want to, underneath the bottom here, you want to push in and then up and then in and up, and it clicked it up. See, then you can pull it on up a little bit and you just wiggle that off there. Okay, there was no pressure on that one. I think one of these has a little pressure on it, but it's no big deal. It'll just spit a little out, little gas come out, no worries. Okay, we already got this one off. That's the one I showed you a while ago. Now this one looks pretty simple. You just pull up on that tab very gently. This stuff's always brittle. It's 20 years old. Pull that right off. So now we got two electrical lines that are off, and I believe that's all there is to that. Let's get that over here out of the way. And stick it over there for now, out of the way, up underneath the bed. This one here. Okay, let me figure this one out and I'll get right back with you. Okay, we'll save this one for last. We know how to do this one because it's going to be like this red one was. So on that blue clip, push in and up on both sides. Sometimes they're a little facetious, but you definitely don't want to break anything, so just be patient. I'm going to set this phone down and use both hands on it, and then it ought to come right up out of there. Okay, this one was being a little butthole. So what I did was I took my tiny screwdriver and I stuck it right up under there, just on top of that fuel line, but under the blue piece. Wiggled it, then pushed in and up on both sides, and now I believe it'll come on up out of there. Just pry gently. Okay, now it's up off there. See, those don't come all the way out, they just slide up. Remember this one, we pulled it off. Now we're going to pull this one off. Just wiggle. Okay, that one had a little bit of gas in it, no big deal. Okay, now we're going to study this one. I'll be back with you in a minute. Okay, on this one, this last one, there's two little tabs right here. You've got to get them over that little lip where I've just got them over there. You just pry that one out that way a little bit, that one out that way, and then just force this off. Once you get it past that lip, grab and wiggle, and that one's just a vent for the gas tank. It has no gas coming out of it. This is the only one that had just a little bit of gas, that blue one. Now we got everything loose. Looks like on this new pump, there's just a hole right there for this little green doohickey module, so we're going to have to figure out how to get that off and put it on that new pump. I'll be back with you in a minute. Okay, got everything unhooked. Then you got to tap this ring off. So I'm going to get you a screwdriver, put it right here. And I started tapping with that hammer. And then it just popped right on off counterclockwise. You want to pull it up out of the way. Set it to the side, leave it about like you had it. Okay, now we're going to do one last little blow with the air. Watch your eyes, Jake. And we're going to pull this fuel pump up out of here. There shouldn't be anything else holding it. Just kind of give it a little wiggle. I'll be back with you in a second. Okay, I finally got this thing to bust loose. It was just a little stuck in there. And you want to lift it up. Be patient on this part because there's going to be a bunch of gas down in this bottom piece. Will you hold that, Jake, and video this for a second, please? There's one tight fit. Chevy's known for that. Custom fit. Okay, now this is still full of gas, so when you lay this over, be careful with that little arm, that float. Now what you can do, instead of killing the environment with gas, turn these lines to where they're facing up and pour some of that back in the tank. Plus you're saving money, see? That's a good pint of gas or so. Alright, now we're gonna set this to the side and get this piece off, put it on this other one, and we'll get back with you in a minute. Okay, if your old one has this black plug and your new one don't, but it has a hole right there, what you do is you just put a screwdriver under here, and see that thing's ribbed and it just goes down in there. That's all that is. So you just want to put a big screwdriver underneath it and pry it straight up. Be careful, don't break it.